Yeah, good afternoon from Hobart Pool as we have game 1-7 South Africa against Colombia starting in court 1. Very shortly, we're on time here with Stuart. My name is Hein. Stuart next to me. Good to see you again, Stuart.
You too, mate. It's nice to be here. Day 5 at the the 4th CMAS Age Group World Championships. The game is paused at the moment. It is the Colombian under-19 men against South Africa under-19 men. It will be underway shortly, and it looks to be a tight matchup here today, Hein.
Yeah, no. South Africa and Colombia 4-5, lying 4-5 on the log. South Africa 4th, Colombia 5th. So it's going to be a very tight game here as they only play one game against each other, and they need to play now for position as we're starting to end this tournament before the playoffs start.
Yeah, that's right. Both teams very keen to get as high on the seedings as they can. Obviously, that's going to dictate who they play in the finals, and often it can be the difference between meeting an opposition team that's a lot stronger than another one. So sometimes if you actually finish higher, it ends up worse for you, but not often. So usually the higher you finish, the better you are, but not always there, Hein.
Yeah, definitely. As we saw in one of the previous games today. I think it was France against Australia. France lying down at the bottom of the log with under 23 league and beating Australia was 3rd. So it happens, as Stewie rightly said. So now it's time to. You haven't got much more time now. You need to play now for position.
And we've got some early chat coming through the live chat. Elmarie van der Schiff has said a whole bunch of stuff. I'm pretty sure that he's barracking for the South Africans there, Hein.
Yeah, no, Elmarie, her husband is here, and obviously their son is playing, Kobus van der Schuyf. He's playing for South Africa and number 13, so she's definitely up. It's now 7:20 Tuesday morning in South Africa, Stuart.
Yeah, very nice from Elmarie there, and I think HK Underwater Hockey, I'm not sure if that's Hong Kong or somewhere else. Maybe HK can actually confirm that for me, but they're just barracking for both teams right now, so it's good to see underwater hockey as a sport, and especially both teams getting a good plug here as the clock counts down with the last 2 seconds until this game kicks off. It should be a very close game. Both teams love to get into space and run some good angles. You see the South Africans and Colombians crashing in together in the middle of the pool there. South Africans just sneaking over to their attacking side of the court here and on a nice little left-hand swim up the near side wall here, Hein.
Yeah, no, speaking to the coach before the game, they obviously desperately need a win here, the South African team, as they didn't do so well in the games yesterday in South Africa. Having spoken to the coach, it was difficult for him to decide which of the two players should sit outside.
You can see the South Africans taking the puck off the wall once they had it there and established, and a nice 45 swim into the centre channel. A good recycle, but met by a ferocious Colombian defence. It is a little bit tit for tat. Both teams sort of losing possession, then regaining it at the moment. You can see a big drive there by a Colombian, stopped by a South African, and then again stopped by a Colombian. So you can see how ferocious this competition is, and it's going to be interesting to see in this first 5 minutes who actually dictates more of the attacking play, as the South Africans bring it all the way back on a nice defensive swim underneath their sub-bench here, Hein.
Yeah, no, it was good to see the players playing in the middle of the pool and trying to open it up, not bashing against the wall, as these under-19 boys, a lot of times you see a lot of bashing taking place as the guys have got a lot of testosterone and try and play with force and not by skill.
You see the referees pulling up the first infringement of the game. It's going to be an obstruction call against South Africa, so an advantage puck for Colombia in just over their halfway line into their attacking half. You can see the Colombians all behind the puck at the moment, swimming it left, then recycling it back and dishing off a nice little pass. South Africans are there to meet that, though, and they regain possession on this near side wall. Another nice recycle and a straight swim by that South African attacker there. They've got some good numbers at the moment, and they've managed to establish a good straight drive here. The Colombians just sort of recycling the puck into the centre channel, try and set up their own swim. So both teams playing a very similar brand of hockey right now, Hein.
Yeah, definitely. A change of structure. Yeah, I see South Africa are trying to play 3-3 and totally a different game plan they're trying here.
Yeah, they're definitely trying to play the puck more in the centre of the court, I think, as the South Africans get an advantage puck for stick infringement on the Colombians here. I actually would really like to see how the South Africans go on those big 45 open swims. I think it would really suit some of these big, strong swimmers in this under-19 South African lineup, Hein.
Yeah, no, they've got the speed, Stuart, so they definitely want to get the puck out to their wings. And obviously, you can see that Colombians not allowing South Africa any movement as they want to keep the game in the middle of the pool.
Yeah, nice attacking move here by South Africa. They take the puck all the way to the corner of the tray. It's a big swim. I think the puck might have actually ended up in the goals. We're just going to wait and see what the referees are saying here. It's a big, fast, hard swim by the South Africans there. They are having a little bit of a conference with the referees, and that is goal number 1 for South Africa. I think that's number 3.
Yeah, number 3, Ryan from Sale. Well done, Ryan, the captain of the team. Obviously one of our better players. He played in 2015 as well, so he's got the experience with a young team playing with him. So well done, Ryan.
Yeah, well done, Ryan, for a really nice definitive swim there. And, I mean, the Colombians doing a good job of trying to hold that play up, but the South Africans just finding just that little bit of space they needed on the outside of the Colombian structure and really making them pay for giving them a little bit too much space there in the centre of the park. We see the teams are setting up, and they kick off again as the first 4 minutes of this first half are over. And again, both teams crashing into each other in the middle of the pool here in a very ferocious contest so far, Hein.
Yeah, no, they're not giving each other any margins here. They're just not allowing the guys to get going. And what's nice is very few infringements, as we see good hockey in the pool at Court 1 here at Hobart.
Yeah, that's right. So far, there's only been an obstruction and a stick infringement called by the refs with 4 minutes gone in this first half. And you can see there the players just sort of stagnating over that far side, just off that wall. One of the referees is playing an advantage puck. Very hard to tell who that's for because both teams are sort of tit-for-tatting right now. I think the buzzer has gone, and it's going to be against the Colombians there, Hein.
Yeah, I know. One thing about these refs, they're really trying to get the games to flow and get the players to get position. And we see a lot of good calls being made by the refs. So very few deliberate obstruction and deliberate infringements taking place in this tournament.
Yeah, that's right. It is good to see the refs playing advantage a lot and just trying to give the team that has had the foul occur on them as much time to capitalise on the free-flowing game before they make a call. So sometimes they won't make a call at all because obviously the advantage will play out in the advantage of the team that had the infringement occur on them. As you can see, the Colombians doing a really nice drive here and then a nice inside-out move by that defensive South African player, and he drives it over to some support on the side wall there, Hein.
Yeah, it's a pity that Colombia didn't capitalise on that, as they had South Africa on their back there, and the Colombian guy showing some good skill there. We had one Colombian player taking 2 South African players out with a left, right, and then the next Colombian coming and taking out one of the South African players without even seeing the puck.
Yeah, so referee Nathan Whelan's called an advantage puck for Colombia here as they drive in. Again, the buzzer goes, and it's going to be breaking on the South African lads, unfortunately. So, breaking for the Colombians, against the Colombians, I should say. So it's going to go from an advantage puck for Colombia to an equal puck for both teams, just next to the sub-bench of the South Africans here, Hein.
Yeah, no, fortunately for South Africa, Colombians probably hearing the other buzzer going, and some breaking early before this buzzer and this pool going, and South Africa will take that. As the South Africans gave 2 early breaks away last year in one of their games, so the coach wouldn't have accepted that.
Yeah, nice little 45 onto an awaiting attacker there. I think that was number 3 going for a big swim, and then he recycles the puck to another awaiting player, and they get a lot of momentum down this left-hand side here, this near wall. A nice little flick back, under pressure now though, with 3 Colombians around him. Just sort of brings it out back on a nice diagonal backwards movement, maintaining possession as again he recycles it to a waiting teammate. The South Africans doing a good job of keeping possession under pressure by the Colombians at the moment there, Hein.
Yeah, no, the South Africans are trying to get space. They're trying to create space. They're swimming very hard. What's nice to see is that when they get the puck on the stick, they're prepared to swim it and not just flick it. So good play there. And the Colombians as well, it's an evenly squared game, this, Stewie.
It is, as you can see there, the Colombians starting to establish a little bit of momentum. But a nice little steal from that South African player as he swims a 45, but unfortunately straightens up and gets met in the centre of the court there by a Colombian opposition player. Colombians regain possession here, and then a nice little over-the-top movement by a Colombian who tried a little back flick and then another inside-out movement in the centre channel, probably too early to get any sign of drive that's going to make the tray. But the Colombians have proven time and time again that they are very good at recycling the puck into that centre channel. Again, a back flick down the back wall. The South Africans trying to desperately defend it, but I think they might have actually gone in the tray there, Hein.
Yeah, no, it was a wave after wave after wave. As one of the South African players early in that wave missed the puck by a good skill by the Colombian players. And we had 2-3 Colombian players following up the whole time. As we've got a serious infringement here. Team warning against player number 13, Cobus van der Skyf. Unfortunately, Elmery. Cobus trying desperately there to defend and causing infringement as we were on the back foot.
Looks to me like there might have been a... Oh, no, sorry, that's the other call. I was going to say there's a timeout, but that's incorrect as the game reconvenes here with 1 goal apiece. You can see that Colombian attacker swimming out hard, basically leaving his team behind as the South Africans arrive together pretty much at the same time as the play goes out over to that far side and then back towards the middle here. Both teams again vying to try and rip the possession off the other. A nice little inside drive by the South Africans, but the Colombians having the possession underneath the body, sort of shovel pass by the Colombian there. An interesting choice given that he probably didn't know what was behind him as the South Africans again sort of put under pressure by the Colombians here, Hein.
Yeah, and what's nice about the Colombians playing here, you see their body position. They're very low down on the pool, so they and they're keeping their eyes on the puck. They actually 2-3 of them at the bottom of the pool and one waiting out on the left or the right hand side. So the Colombians are definitely have the advantage at this moment, and South Africa need to regroup. I think we'll have a call timeout shortly by the South African coach.
So on cue there, Hein. The South African coach has called a timeout. I don't know if you guys have got a little two-way walkie-talkie going on there, but he definitely listened to you, as you can see him in the court already, taking up as much of this minute with his team as he's got to try and impart some words of advice and get his team. Another
thing I'm seeing here, the South Africans are actually allowing Colombia to start playing. They're not stopping the wave quickly enough. They waiting, and then before they realize it, they've on their goal box. So South Africa definitely need to stop that wave very quickly and get their bodies down the bottom of the pool and not allow the Colombians to get momentum.
One of the things opposition teams can sort of make the mistake of against the Colombians is overcommitting on the person running the puck. Often what happens is the Colombians are very good at running that puck on an angle off straight, and when they get sort of fronted by an opposition player, they will do a tight curl, and the danger is that the defender overcommits on that guy as the pass goes to the next one, and then that takes that defender out of that next play.
Yeah.
What I liked about the first part of this first half is that the South Africans were trying to find space, and it seems to me that the last 2 or 3 minutes they've stopped that and they've started running straight down the wall again. So I'd actually like to see the South Africans go back to that big 45 swimming that they were doing in that first sort of 10 minutes of this first half there, Hein.
Yeah, they started very, very well. And for some other reason, they've stopped their game. They've changed the game plan. They're now allowing the Colombians to play and not doing what they did well before, allowing Colombia to get in this game. Another thing, it looks like, Stewie, the Colombians have sort of, they've always been a tight team, small bodies, strong upper strength, and they've got big swimmers in their team here. They've got not really big players, but fast swimmers.
Yeah, they are. They are fast guys. They're very energetic. They've done a lot of training, and they have a lot of big breath hold guys. So, once they get some momentum, they're not as big in stature as some of the South Africans, but they certainly are as big with speed. As you can see, a nice little sort of backwards 45 defensive swim there as the Colombians focus on maintaining possession. A good amount of pressure applied as the buzzer goes off again. Looks to me like the ref has called an infringement on the Colombians, unfortunately, with a bit of chopping. An interesting call because they did have a lot of uncontested possession there, Hein.
Yeah. One South African was trying to do all the work there. I think it was number 3. And the other players were just watching him. We need to get bodies in the bottom of the pool. Otherwise, South Africa will not get the momentum they need.
Yeah, so the South Africans taking this advantage puck right next to the sub-bench of the Colombians on a nice drive, putting a lot of attacking pressure as they funnel that puck all the way to the back wall. Got some good body position here, and I think that the puck might have just been defended by the Colombians. the South Africans recycle and they bang straight back into another sweep by the Colombians. So Colombians quick to counter-attack here as the South Africans sort of regain possession and take it back to this near side wall here, Hein.
Yeah, what's good to see was that the Colombians were just absorbing it at the right moment. They got the stick on the puck and just swam it out. But, watching the previous game where South Africa was playing against New Zealand, we had too many players on the puck, and South Africa losing against New Zealand yesterday by allowing New Zealand to swim from their own goal box into South Africa's territory. So it's good to see that South Africa is not overcommitting and allowing some players to stop the breakaway.
Yeah, that's right. As we see Nath Whelan, the referee, calling the Colombians on a stick infringement. The South Africans getting an advantage puck right in front of the tray as they drive straight down the middle. One Colombian defender goes out to force a flick, but the South Africans decide to keep that puck, and I think they might have tried a jinx, I believe the South Africans call it, or a swerve in Australian language, but unsuccessful as the Colombians go on a nice little counter-attack here, Hein.
Yeah, no, the Colombians obviously were watching South Africa's games as they saw all the players committing. Unfortunately, we're just mentioning it that South Africa mustn't overcommit and get all their players involved, and unfortunately that's exactly what they did, and South Africa on the back foot again. Yes, Colombia are hard on the attack with 2 minutes to go, with South Africa working up on the side of the pool on the substitution side, and hopefully we get some fresh legs in.
Yeah, the Colombians doing a nice drive, but the South Africans are doing a lot of work in defence here, and it's paying dividends as they get a nice breakaway goal. The buzzer has gone. Unfortunately for South Africa, the referees are throwing number 6 out, I believe, for 2 minutes. Let's see if it is number 6 or not.
I think it's number 3.
Oh, yeah, number 3. There you go.
Unfortunately, the captain, Ryan van Zyl,
getting 2 minutes for an obstruction, I believe, there, Hein.
Yeah, no, I think was a timeout called by Colombia. So, Colombian calling a timeout. So Ryan just swimming back. But I think that was definitely deliberate obstruction as we had a hard attack, and all of a sudden South Africa getting a breakaway. So there was an infringement against South Africa there, unfortunately.
Yeah, so a timeout called by Colombia. Number 3 for South Africa, under 23 men, is going to spend 2 minutes, unfortunately, in the bin. So that's going to see him out for the rest of this half. So South Africa are going to have to play with a man down. So 5 guys in the water for these last 2 minutes of this first half. Both teams really locked in a very even battle at the moment. So I'm sure South Africa will try and consolidate this defensive work they're going to have to do as Colombia start to set up and attacking. You can see their attacker on the very corner of the tray there. I wouldn't be surprised if they try and attack that side of the goal tray there, Hein.
Yeah, no, Colombia will definitely want to capitalise on that, Stuart, and they want to score a goal before half-time. That'll be good for their morale. And South Africa obviously will try and not allow that, but Colombia will stay in this half. That I can tell you guys, as you see a goal being scored here.
Yeah, you can see a very nice set play executed to perfection by the Colombian under-19 lads there. Goal number 2 for them, and they'd be very happy with scoring a goal this late in the first half. You can see that Colombian attacker sitting on the goal tray. The Colombians were quite slow at taking the free puck. The South Africans sort of cruised out there slowly, not really sure what the Colombians were going to do with the puck. And you could see that puck get fed into that sort of forward positioned Colombian guy. He just was quick to grab it and flick it straight into the tray. So very well executed free puck with 1 minute to go. Let's see if the South Africans can draw it back here, Hein.
Yeah, no, the Colombians caught South Africa offside. They're pulling 2-3 players to the one side and just opening up the goal box, and South Africa didn't see that coming. And we have Colombia hard on the attack again as they swim hard from the kickoff into South Africa's half with 44 seconds to go, and 5 players on South Africa's side, of which one is their key player now out of the game.
Yeah, that's right. So don't forget that the South Africans are playing with one guy down. Colombians again trying to press the attacking advantage here, driving that puck into the deep defensive corner of the South Africans as they try and create some kind of momentum coming out of the corner. They're probably going to be happy to keep it there now with only 20 seconds remaining. The Colombians doing a really good job of getting it out of the corner there and putting it onto the back wall quite close to the tray. And it's going to be interesting to see if they can generate some kind of goal chance here, Hein.
Yeah, no, they've got a good opportunity here. As you can see, 3-4 of them are right at the bottom and kicking hard when they get the puck onto the stick. And you can see the puck going into the back of the goal box.
So I believe that's no. The referees are saying no goal and advantage puck to the South Africans for obstruction. Bit of a free arm by the looks of it there for Colombia. As half time is called, the players will swap sides, and the South Africans are very lucky not to have another goal against them there, Hein.
Yeah, that could have been because the Colombians are staying right at the bottom of the pool, and it's swimming underneath the players. So that fortunately for South Africa, the ref saw that. But having one South African player at the bottom and 3 Colombians just pushing forward, difficult to stop that wave. And luckily for us, we had infringement with half-time. South Africa scoring the first goal in this half. Colombia coming back very well and getting 2 quick goals.
Yeah, that's right. As Willem Zilstra on the live chat here is saying, great call, Hein. And Nacho Tato saying, con toda Colombia. And Sebastiro Ciro Nacho Ganamos hoy. So a lot of calls. Willem Zilstra also saying pressure is on, boys. Well done to Colombia. So a lot of guys acknowledging on the chat here that it's a very close game between these two well-matched teams. Colombia under-19 versus South Africa under-19 men. And I'd say both of these under-19 teams really playing a brand of hockey at the moment that looks to be a lot more physical than the actual ages these guys are, Hein.
Yeah, no, this is a game on. As we said, this is playing for position, and South Africa, definitely desperately want to win this game, as it's not easy more games coming for them before the playoffs start. And South Africa having one player out as well, one of their key players. We need to regroup now, and hopefully Johan can talk some wisdom and into their heads and just tell them to calm down. The game's not over. Ryan will be back now. Thank you, Willem, for being on the live chat. We appreciate all the support we can get. And the Colombians, obviously, a lot of support on the stage here, as we have probably 1 minute to go before second half starts.
Yeah, that's right. A quick shout out to our major sponsors here at this tournament. Tasmania Government, Hobart City Council, Tourism Tasmania. You can see the sponsors flashed up there on the screen there. There's a lot of people that have put in a lot of work to get this tournament up off the ground and provide an amazing sort of base for these competitors to just show us all here locally in Tasmania and Hobart and around the world via the stream just what they've got to offer. A fierce contest playing out here between the under-19 Colombians and South African men's. We count down the last 13 seconds until the second half starts. And again, a quick shout out to 6 Al Agua underwater hockey gear and Shark underwater hockey equipment for all the support you've given us. And the Jade Fins, a very popular fin amongst the underwater hockey community, as this second half kicks off here, Hein.
Yeah, I hope South Africa can start as they started the first half and score a quick goal here. As South Africa is playing it up to the left-hand side of the wall and coming back onto the side here as they flick it forward. Unfortunately, the Colombian players just seeing the puck much quicker than South Africa. South Africa's got bodies in the bottom, so that's good from South Africa. So as they need to get more bodies in the bottom of the pool, swimming it out wide again. Colombian seeing that move coming, and Simeon Justo, very well done there as you keep on swimming with the puck on your stick. And Colombians are coming down hard on South Africa, right in the middle of the center of the pool, exactly how the first half started.
Yeah, you can see how the South African lads have started to swim more angles and started to sort of zig and zag around the pool as opposed to playing straight. As the Colombians get a bit of a breakaway here, there's a very fast South African guy on his tail with a big fast dolphin kick. So pretty confident that swim is not going to end up in an immediate goal anyways. There's a lot of offensive and defensive work going on by both teams here. The Colombians putting a fair bit of pressure at the moment. You can see there's a big second and third effort going on there by that Colombian attacker. And now the puck is in the right defensive corner for the South Africans. A good body position by the South Africans, not so good for that Colombian guy who, as an attacker, was holding it in the corner, which is interesting as they bring it out and throw that puck straight down that back wall. And a lot of pressure being applied at the moment by Colombia here, Hein.
Yeah, a lot of pressure here from Colombia as South Africa have 6 players back in the water, and they would need to get away from here as number 12 swimming very, very hard here from South Africa. Joel Hanna trying to work it up, trying to create space and not make the puck available to Colombia. I see what Colombia also does very well, Stewie, is they can steal the puck very well. They just, for some other reason, you don't see them, and all of a sudden they're on the player. As soon as you think you've got space, they just take the puck off the stick.
Yeah, that's right. They've got very fast hand skills, and they're very used to just sort of nicking that puck, sort of picking your pocket and going. And as Heinz said there, you can see them doing it a lot in this game. And really, to me, or for me, I should say, what the South Africans need to do to counter that is when they get that puck, if there's any space, they need to keep kicking. They don't want to. They don't want to sort of stop and allow the Colombians any time to sort of get around them as the referee calls an infringement against Colombia for a stick infringement. Advantage puck for South Africa here, so they have done a good job of defending a lot of pressure from Colombia in this first couple of minutes of this second half there, Hein.
For the first time, South Africa actually swam. You know, I could see that number 4, Michel Celia, kicking furiously as he had the puck on his stick. And that's the only way we're going to put pressure on Colombia is by swimming the puck and not by trying to outskill them, because the Colombians have got excellent skill in this team. So we need to get speed, boys.
Yeah, they need the speed, and in my mind, in my opinion, they need those angles. I think that the Colombians are very good at keeping the pack and keeping the pressure on the puck. You need to kind of swim that puck away from that pack, draw that puck away from the pack, and then recycle it back to another swimmer. Even if you have to go back out and around, that's fine, I reckon, just as long as those angles away from the Colombian lads are swung. The moment you start straightening up and swimming it at the Colombians, they're just ready for that. Their structure is very good at sort of soaking up that pressure. So we'll see how the South Africans go here as they bring that puck all the way down to their deep attacking area here, Hein.
Yeah, no, South Africa is hard on the attack here as we see South Africans down at the bottom. It's good to see some bodies at the bottom, boys. And the Colombians just prepared to absorb the pressure, and a good steal there by Brandon and playing it back to number 6 there, Matthew Penning. And Matthew Penning taking it back into the corner. Ryan waiting for the opportunity. Trying very hard there by Brandon. Unfortunately, the Colombians have just got more bodies at the bottom. A good interception there.
Yeah, the South Africans got it in a nice position now to have a proper crack at the tray. Unfortunately, that Colombian defender does a really good effort of just sort of bursting through a couple of those South African attackers and taking it back to the wall. Unfortunately, I think that the South Africans could probably be a little bit more proactive at getting that puck to their guys waiting on a 45 back from the corner. They're still trying to meet the contest or take the contest to the Colombians way too close to that back corner. But really not getting enough bodies on the bottom to try and press the puck down that back wall. So you can see here the Colombians on the counter attack. The South Africans doing a good amount of defending to get back there, so not making it easier for Colombia. And again, this game is just going for tit for tat there, Hein.
Yeah, no, Stuart, you could see the Colombians just waiting for the opportunity. They were prepared to play right in the corner of the pool. And they're playing it. And when the opportunity came, they swam it very hard onto the South Africans. Look at that steal again. You see, you got to look up. You can't look at the puck. You got to look for these Colombians. They're coming down on you without even knowing that they're there.
Yeah, nice little move there over the top of that South African player. He dropped that puck back, and the Colombian was very fast to go over the top and make him pay for it. Would have been nice to see that guy, as Heinz said, with his head up, looking at that Colombian. All he needed to do was bring the puck out and underneath him to the other side, and he would have been away. Yeah. As the South Africans go on a nice little swim here across the court. In numbers, the Colombians follow him, but they've got a good little swim on here, Hein.
Yeah, they've got a good swim there. Good speed there by South Africa. Sometimes also swimming with their arms too straight, so they can't get the puck back again when they see the Colombians coming. Then they just take it off the stick. So we need to get some better skill there on the puck, and then we could score here. The first time that I've seen the Colombian actually just flick the puck away there.
Yeah, that's right. Unfortunately for the Saffers, the refs have called an infringement. It's going to be an advantage puck for Colombia. I'm not sure if that was behind the play or not. It was interesting that the third ref sitting behind the play actually called that one. But regardless, the Colombians will get an advantage puck. It has been a timeout called, I believe, by South Africa. As you can see, the coach for the South Africans there getting into the court and pretty keen to have a chat to his lads there, Hein.
Yeah, no, you won. I think you won't be too unhappy, but you will realise that they need to score now as we see the stopwatch is just clicking along and ticking away seconds. But the South Africa had a good spell now. We just need to make sure that we keep possession. We had one or two good breakaways, and the score still 2-1 for Colombia without South Africa scoring in the second half. But we need to stay in that half. Obviously, Colombia seem quite relaxed with the coach just having a quick chat and swimming out again. So the Colombians seem to be very happy with the game at the moment.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, their coach, Andreas, the Colombian coach, he's a pretty cool-headed cat, very relaxed, never really gets very fired up. He's always a very measured guy, so I'm not surprised that he's taking it into stride at the moment as the South Africans take the advantage puck against the Colombians here as this second half game continues. Very tight contest between these two teams. You can see there the players gone over to the far side of the court. You can see just how many bodies are down there vying for that puck. You can also see how congested it gets, and that congestion is exactly why when teams decide to swim it somewhere else, it works. If you take it to the space, it draws that congestion away from where it generally forms. So, you know, it's a good idea, and I like the fact that the South Africans are trying to swim on angles away from that congestion. I would really like to see them do a lot more of it in this second half there, Hein.
No, Stuart, you're right. That's actually what they were trying to do. They're trying to swim the 45s. They're trying to get speed. They're trying to draw 2 or 3 more Colombians in and to open up as we see them coming here again, swimming straight to the goal box, and hopefully they can get a breakthrough.
Now the South Africans bring that puck into the centre channel, shovel it under a competitor, but only under the first one. There was a second one there, and it looks to me like Paddy, the ref from Australia, has called the Colombians on an infringement. He's giving them a warning for chopping, I believe, or maybe obstruction. I didn't actually quite catch his signal. Yeah, so warning for Colombia for chopping. They're going to have to be careful now with 8 minutes to go in this second half not to do any more of that because they will get binned as the South Africans set up all behind the puck by the looks of it. I reckon they're going to go for a big press straight down the 45 here, Hein.
Yeah, no, it's funny that they didn't put somebody in the Colombian box there. You know, they could have capitalized on that, but they decided on another call and just getting the players behind the puck.
Yeah, well, it didn't work as the Colombians go on a very nice counter-attack here. They went on a very nice 45 right-hand swim up the court and then bit of a recycle, not surprisingly. The Colombians have been doing that very well all game. They've got numbers around the puck, numbers behind the puck, and the South Africans doing a lot of hard work to just trying to counteract this big Colombian drive that's happening at the moment there, Hein.
Yeah, no, Stuart, the South Africans are desperate to want to get back into where the position they were. They don't want to play there. But the Colombians look like a composed. They're just waiting for the opportunities, absorbing the pressure, and then just enjoying the game. But it seems like South Africa are getting a bit frantic. They just need to settle down and swim the angles that they started with. Like you rightfully said, that's what they were good with in the first half, and we need to see that again.
Yeah, that's right. As again, this contest continues over the far side. It's really tit for tat at the moment. It's anyone's puck, and it's too close on the scoreboard to say which way this game is going to go here. Obviously, Colombia leading 2-1. As again, we look at the live chat, and we've got Catalina on there saying Colombia, and then Laura Aguilar saying Vamos Colombia as well. So a lot of people on the chat. It's a really nice no-look pass goes from that South African attacker, and unfortunately the next guy just spills the puck, manages to regain it, but kind of loses a lot of attacking advantage as that puck goes to the right-hand side. The Colombians regaining the puck there, and a little bit of an opportunity missed there, Hein.
Yeah, no, South Africa had they just had the opportunity. They had everything going for them. They just needed to get more puck control. They've unfortunately just a small little tumble, taking your eyes off the puck, and Colombians just, for some other reason, they just got the puck going back towards South Africa's side with good control there by Colombia.
Yeah, and
South Africa swimming hard, yeah.
Another good attacking move by South Africa here. They've got a lot of numbers on the bottom, and Colombia just managing to get that puck back. Now South Africa have it again. They're driving that right-hand side of the tray. It's a big swim. A big flick goes in. The puck is on the back wall. It's going to be basically a breath hold contest here because the Colombians are in a bad spot. They just managed to get that puck out along that back wall a little bit more. It's popped out again. The South Africans feeding it back in. Geez, it's a feeding frenzy in there, Hein.
For the first time, I saw the Colombians get a bit frantic there, up and down, up and down, up and down. Unfortunately for South Africa, causing infringement there. You know what, South Africa, they should play like that for 15 minutes and a half, not just with small little bursts.
Yeah, that's right. Unfortunately, sometimes the opposition guys have a little bit to say about that, I suppose. But it is going to be, interestingly, a Colombian puck. Everyone's behind the puck. So, again, another interesting driving move here by Colombia. They had the advantage, but they didn't press anyone forward at all. They just stayed behind the puck except for one. So the South Africans doing a good job of counter-attacking here. I think the buzzer has gone again. Interesting to see that the referees
Sure.
have called gloving against South Africa, unfortunately, there. So the Colombians are, again, let off the hook. The South Africans coming up with a very nice attacking play there on the end of an advantage puck by Colombia, but they'll have another crack at it this time, Hein.
Yeah, Stuart, now South Africa, definitely look at them again. The Colombians are all behind the puck. South Africa will appreciate that, and they will go hard onto the guy that takes the puck and swim straight for the goal box. They see it can work for them. They just need to kick when they get the puck onto their stick. Just need to kick a bit harder. Be patient, it will come. But Colombia capitalize again, and they swim straight back at the South African players on the far side, on the wall here against Colombia, against South Africa. Excellent play there by Colombia, just waiting at the bottom, not going up, and putting the next Colombian in a better position. Good skill there by South Africa, stealing the puck, getting the body down at the bottom, and not allowing for the Colombians to pass the puck to the player which was on the inside.
We've got Kevin Cook on the live chat saying, "Go South Africa, nearly there." Very true. The South Africans definitely are peppering the Colombian goal tray. They've very, almost probably 3 or 4 opportunities just not going into the goals there as another infringement is called by the refs, waiting to see what the outcome of that is. With only 3.5 minutes to go, you can see the referee's positioning the puck, and I think it looks to me like it's going to be another advantage puck for Colombia, but I think the referees are actually going to bin a South African guy here, Hein. You can see the South African swimming over to the sin bin there.
Yeah, unfortunately for South Africa, another guy are going to have some tea and scones there and talk to the chief ref. But South Africa, they had a good spell there. They kept on playing. They had a good move going. But the Colombians, for probably 2-3 seconds, they looked frantic. But after that, they just started playing again, just calming down and getting this puck where they want it. And the players support. A lot of the Colombian players are putting themselves in a good position for the player who's got the puck to pass it to a player in a better position.
Yeah, that's right here as we see this fierce contest continue right next to the Colombian sub-bench here. The puck is all the way on the back wall. The Colombians push it into the corner. There's one South African guy down there, but he's not really going to go anywhere from that corner. The puck comes out a little bit. The Colombians are setting up. The South Africans have got the puck out of the corner now. It's driving back. They're going to try and get it off the wall on a 45. It'd be nice to see that guy, instead of driving the 45 into the contest, drive it square. You've got to get that puck into the centre channel to really get any kind of off-the-line advantage. If you drive a 45, the only way you're going to get it at the tray is if the Colombians are caught napping on the surface there, Hein.
Yeah, no, you're right. And South Africa has flicked the puck away twice now. They should just a small little switch or a jinx, and they should be able to get the puck closer before they try and put those big flicks in.
Colombians regaining possession here as they slowly drive it out against a very determined South African offense type mixture. They're going to 45 at the moment. A nice little inside-out move there by the Colombians, just sort of showcasing those quick hand skills they do have. Now they're running in a number of 2 down the pool, contested by South Africa. And again, this fierce contest continues there, Hein, with only 1 minute 30 remaining.
Yeah, no, the Colombians are taking it back hard at South Africa with them only having 5 players in the water. South Africa definitely need to get away here quickly before the Colombians capitalize on only having 5 players. And we've got some speed behind the puck, and it looks like this is going to go into the back of the tray.
They've got a lot of good attacking momentum here. The South Africans are really stretched in defence. I think they might have kept it out. I think it is over on the other side there, on the back wall in the corner, or somewhere in between the tray and the corner. You can see all of the, you can see where they are on the surface. It looks to me like it is definitely a fight for this last minute to go in this game, but it definitely has been defended desperately by South Africa there, Hein.
Excellent defence work there. I really thought it was in. Well done to South Africa for keeping it out, but now we need to get it away from this position. As we are on the corner of South Africa with 40 seconds to go, we need to get away here very, very quickly and not concede a goal either.
Yeah, the Colombians still are, doing a good defence by a good offence, and it is in the tray. It does look like, unless the referees have seen a foul, that's a negative, no fouls. That is the 3rd goal for Colombia, and they are going to take this game out. That's number 5 scoring for Colombia there. You got the number for Colombia there, mate?
Yeah, number 5, Byron Lopez.
Briam Lopez scoring a goal there for Colombia as the final seconds of this second half tick down. I do believe the time should have stopped because we are inside the last 2 minutes, but interesting to see. I think The referee has called full time. So 3-1. South Africa are defeated by Colombia in a very close encounter here on the 5th day at the 4th CMAS Age Group World Championships. Well done to both teams for a really ferocious contest in there, Hein.
Yeah, no, it was good. It was, coming back from 1-0 and then taking the game 3-1. Well done to Colombia for just absorbing the pressure, and when it was on, they went and scored. Well done. It was a good game. And thank you for the support back home.
Very nice game. Very nice support from South America and South Africa. If you liked the game today, you liked watching it, you liked the stream service and the commentating, please donate a couple of dollars through the donate icon on the YouTube page, or I should say on the Tiny URL page. I'm pretty sure you can access it on YouTube as well. As Hein is going to go to poolside, I think, to go and have a chat to some of these amazing athletes. That's it from us here at the commentary box. Thank you very much for listening. And I'm sure you will hear the dulcet tones of my voice very soon. Cheers.
There you go, mate. Try that one.
Sorry. Okay, we're here at Court 1 in Hobart after South Africa had a very tight game against Colombia, with South Africa losing against Colombia. I have Brandon from Wyk next to me smiling, so obviously you enjoyed the game, Brandon.
Well, yes, we did enjoy the game. We played our hearts and soul out, but sadly we did lose. But on behalf of my team, I know we played full out, and our main focus of this tournament is also to win, but it's also just as important to have fun.
Yeah, no, it's very good to see Brandon taking the loss like a proud man, as the Africans always do. Obviously, they come here to win, but if they lose with pride. And Brandon, what can you take out of this game?
Well, at the start, we were working hard, and I think overall the Colombians just had that extra push that just got them through it. So.
But well done, Brandon, as we saw South Africa losing 3-1 here to Colombia, and enjoy the moment, Brandon.
Thank you so much.
Thank you from Hobart Pool here, with the next game coming up shortly.
Alright guys, here in Court 1 I've got with me Ella from the Australian Under-19 Women. Ella, I don't want to ask you how was that game. It was obviously very hard. Were there any moments there where you just felt your heart drop out of your chest?
There were a few moments where they got it like right up in our end, and our backs were just like kind of hurrying to push it out to the corner, so there were a few moments like that, yeah.
And we saw a lot of wall game, but I could see the Australians trying to bring it into the centre of the play. Is that something you're trying to do?
Yeah, the GB plays a very heavy wall game, so we just try our best to open it up and get some switches happening, but they often cut them off because they're getting onto that.
And I saw Jess Cowan going into the sin bin again. Is there any punishment for Jess now? She's been fouling quite a bit this tournament.
she's got a bit of a streak going. It's a bit of a joke in the team, so we'll figure out a punishment for her.
And you're from WA. Is there anything you'd like to say to your friends and family back home?
Thanks for watching and supporting us, guys.
Great. Thank you, Ella. Best of luck the rest of the tournament. And it looks like I might have some GB girls who'd like to talk to me. Hi, guys. What are your names?
I'm Rachel.
I'm Rosie.
Oh, Rosie. I saw you in the sin bin a few times. What happened there?
I don't really know, to be honest. I guess I must have fouled a couple of times.
Yeah, and do you guys have any punishments for when you get fouls? Do you have fines?
Yeah, I'm the fine person. I record everything. So, Rosie, you've got 3. Yeah.
I guess.
Now, I've heard the Canadians are going to be doing Vegemite fines. They're going to have a teaspoon of Vegemite for every fine. Do you know what you guys are going to do?
No, we don't know yet, do we?
Sort of find ourselves like $1 and then like put it in at the end and get like a treat or something for people we didn't find, I guess.
And so you played the Australians 3 times now. I've heard from Ella just then that you're getting harder and harder each time. If you clash against them again, what do you think will happen?
Well, obviously we're hoping to win, but the Australians are a really good team, so we're just going to try our best, see what happens.
Yeah, they're a really strong team, and hopefully, as we progress, we might actually be able to beat them next time. But
And do you have any messages for your friends and family back home watching you?
I would like to give a shout out to South Sea, the Octopus team, because they've like done a lot for me to get out here. So thank you guys.
Yeah, also my team, TSW. Thanks, guys. Yeah.
Great, guys. Fantastic game. We were all biting our nails there in the commentary box. Well done. Enjoy the rest of your tournament. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right. I'm out, guys. Thanks for watching.